That was William Vitalis with Open My Heart to the World. Welcome to Let's Find Out. The focus of this program is to have our hearts open to the universal, united, kind, loving, and forgiving planet. We have entered into a new decade and new energy form, the transformational 20s. Let's all begin to strengthen the new energies on the planet, strengthen your intuition, and strive to live a peaceful existence free from fear. What strategies, prayers, meditations, and exercises can one use to tap into the higher realms and receive messages from our departed loved ones, creating a higher vibration of living? When we're upset and confused, where can we find the answers? How can we know which path to take? The answers are here on Let's Find Out with our spiritually focused format and guests. And now it's time for tonight's program, Let's Find Out with Elizabeth Joyce.
Good evening. This is Elizabeth Joyce. I hope everyone is doing well tonight after the first eclipse that we endured on Friday. We are in a renaissance, and we certainly are going to have some very rapid changes in sight. There are a rare 3 eclipses in 30 days and also a 4-planet combination on June 30th that is going to absolutely raise your vibration, put you into the 5th dimension, and help you to lead an amazing life. But before that happens, you need to work through your conditioned response of fear. We have an eclipse, I think it's called the Strawberry Eclipse, that's coming on the 21st, as well as the summer solstice. This is at 2 degrees Cancer, and it's going to cause a ring of fire in the sky because the moon is a little bit smaller than the sun, so it will cover the sun and you'll see a fire around the moon, and it's known as the ring of fire. And it's also on the world axis. So we're going to have a super galactic vortex of electrical kinetic energy. It's massive, and what I want to get out tonight is how to sit and meditate and bring it in so that you can use it in your everyday life. You can create new things, and you can also pray for the world and create love, peace, and harmony in the world. It's very exciting because these whole degrees that I'm talking about are near the midpoint, which is a pivotal point of the United States chart. So we're going to have a new worldview. Every 20 years we have a new worldview. But this time there's extra things that are coming in that's going to make it even more powerful. And this is a call-in show. I want you to call in and tell me what you've been going through and what you might see happening with you in the next few months. And the number to call is 202-570-7057. And this is Elizabeth Joyce with Let's Find Out. So this celestial rare occurrence started on Christmas Eve when we had an eclipse. And we also have had a 6-planet combination that happened in January. And this is the trigger that's going to push your life towards a huge turnaround. From the 5th of June to the 5th of July, your horoscope will be influenced by a set of 3 eclipses within a span of 30 days. The solar eclipse on June 21st and the lunar eclipse that was on June 5th will occur along with a deep energy pool of 4 planets in the sign of Gemini. So it's not in Capricorn anymore. We've switched over to Gemini. This is going to unravel many of the hurdles and expedite inevitable events of life. And that means that if you've been working towards success and you feel like you've been working and getting to that famous street that I call no place, you're going to get on a skateboard and just skate right down to someplace. Things should be breaking for you. And it seems crazy out there right now. It really does. We are in a time when it really counts to stay within and to set our responses and not to react to the fear. Because negative times negative equals negative. So all of the outmoded negative life and ups and downs are being broken down and split apart. That's happening everywhere. It's happening in every country. It's happening in people's personal lives. It's certainly happening in the governments. Do not allow yourself to be sucked into that energy. When we were children, we were taught to fuss and whine when we wanted our own way. And we have brought that behavior into our adult lives. We don't realize that as we grew older, we could let go of our childish ways and we could begin to communicate and talk things through. When you communicate and talk things through, peace begins. Instead of taking a negative reaction to get your wants, use a response and a technique that will work through to the highest level. When we use the childish feelings of getting attention, throwing hissy fits or looting or robbing and all of that, something happens when we get sick. Something happens. Something happens when we have this behavior. Everything becomes low energy. When we get sick, when we cry, we fuss, and we go back into that old behavior. I know there's a lot of people that if something happens to them, if they get a bad cold or you know, they might get a cut on their hand in the kitchen or something, they just get hysterical. They get totally unprepared, and their reaction is out of great fear. But we have to now take advantage and go into a new dimension. We must change our thinking and we must change our reactions. We are going to be going through 4 years of life tests. The history of life on Earth is that people prey on the weaker people to get what they want. You know that. So, whether a friend or a boss yells at you or reprimands you, it has nothing to do with what they're angry at. Louise Hay always taught us we are never angry at what we think we're angry at. We're angry at something behind, and this event that's upsetting to us causes the anger to come out. And that's called dumping. The friend or the boss will dump their anger and frustrations onto you. But something else is really going on, and his anger becomes a great excuse to vent in you. I remember one time my girlfriend came in from supposedly going out to dinner and a party in New York, and it was teeming rain, and she was not happy. And she picked a fight with me. I remember that, and I remember standing there and saying to her, okay, I'm holding out my arms. Throw every bit of anger you can at me. Go ahead. Scream and yell. Tell me what really happened. What are you upset about? I'm not accepting this anger that you're throwing at me, but I will listen to what you have to say about what's hurting you. And we wound up, she certainly did, tell me what had happened, which was not very nice in New York, and we wound up laughing on the floor and hugging each other, and it was a whole new view. It brought us closer. The riots and anger is an age-old excuse, the old way of handling things so that you can behave badly. When a window gets broken and a store is looted, the people you are supposedly defending may be put out of business. Looting and breaking windows has nothing to do with peaceful protesting or justice. That's an excuse. The behavior we have used for centuries, and it has to stop. Who does the bully pick on? The biggest guy? No, always the weaker. I remember one day I was in 8th grade and I was walking down the hall, and this girl that really bothered everybody and didn't have a good reputation was pulling at my back and hurting me. and leaving marks on my back. And I turned around, and I have to say I slapped her. And she was shocked, and I said, don't ever do that again. And she never did. And it took that kind of an action to stop her in her tracks and make her realize that you couldn't do that. And I will tell you that we talked about it later, and we became kind of friendly, not a good friend, but I understood her pain. The bully always has issues. They don't want to prove how good they are. They do want to prove how good they are. I'm sorry about that. And these issues have nothing to do with who they pick on. Sometimes they feel very afraid of their parents, or they're not comfortable in their living space. And you say somebody's trying to show off, well, they're trying to say, here, I'm here, see me, I'm important. Sometimes when we are abused or neglected as a child, we grow up to become a bully because we need to feel powerful. But bullying is not powerful. It has nothing to do with the issues at hand. It is absolute hysterics. The real issue is gone. It's covered up by someone's pain, and it causes more frustration. And it's not the real purpose of the demonstrations. Because violence then becomes the issue. You break a window and you loot. And when you do those things, you're in third dimension reality, and this has to stop right now. People use frustration for their own personal agendas. They pick on the weak, and they use them to fulfill their own agenda, just like a little child does. Now, here's what we can do about it. And here's what we can give and how we can grow. We stop acting like babies because we now know that we hold the power. We did not know this years ago. We would actually go into a challenging situation and do the same things that are being done now, negative and negative and negative. Nothing gets done. Everything is disrupted. Nothing gets accomplished. There's terrible destruction left behind. A riot is a riot, and nothing has changed. Unfortunately, the incident that they're demonstrating against has its sadness, but it has nothing to do with these riots. Oh, but wait. What can change? You have the power to change. And what you have the power to change is your reaction. Of course, there's bad behavior. It's always looking for a reaction. And when you get the reaction, the baby gets fed. I want a quarter. Please give me a quarter, Mommy. I want a quarter. Oh, stop doing that. I want a quarter. Can I please have a quarter? Oh, okay. If you stop fussing, I'll give you a quarter. This is what we do. It's called manipulation and control. This is Elizabeth Joyce with Let's Find Out. We will continue with this discussion, but first we have a message. We have our weekly cosmic tip. Let's give a listen, and I'll be back right after that.
This is Elizabeth Joyce with Let's Find Out on OMTimesRadio.com. And now it's time for your weekly cosmic tip. This is Elizabeth Joyce with Stargazing, week of June 8th through June 14th, 2020. Sailors claim that the most dangerous weather is fog, which will become dense in the sky this week. If you want to see anything clearly, you will need to turn on your brightest fog lights, because Neptune is bringing some murky challenges your way. A Capricorn Moon on Monday tells us to tend to responsible matters throughout most of the day. Tuesday and Wednesday are better for meeting up with friends or trying something new and different under the Aquarian moon. Get some extra sleep on Wednesday night because the Sun squares Neptune early on Thursday. That can result in waking up tired, hitting the snooze button, or not wanting to talk to anyone until you've had that extra dose of caffeine. This annual Sun-Neptune conflict can lead to a confused mind, bring disappointment to your heart, as well as weakness to your immune system. Be extra cautious and careful with your health at this time. Meditate and get grounded to balance these conditions, reduce your illusions, and sharpen your wisdom. Friday is a good day for romance and a movie under a Pisces moon. On Saturday morning, Mars aligns with Neptune in Pisces. This energy includes the tendency to over-idealize others, which can leave you open to deception and scandal. Because this combo leaves your body susceptible to poisons, infections, and the virus, it's time to avoid freeloaders and moochers, as well as negative situations, alcohol, or drugs. Be aware that Mars rules sex and can be very devious. If you're not planning on getting pregnant, then abstinence or protection is a must. Work with the positive side of this energy to bring out your spiritual warrior. Put this strong energy into manifesting your dreams and lofty goals. An Aries moon on Sunday urges you to get moving, be it exercise or putting energy into your projects and ambitions. This is Elizabeth Joyce with Visions of Reality. The website is new-visions.com. If you'd like to make a call to ask a question or book a reading, the 24-hour answering service is 201-934-8986. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week.
This is Elizabeth Joyce, and I want to continue with the discussion of 3 eclipses in 30 days and the yearly setup of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. You can call in to ask a question, and the number is 202-570-7057. We started the year out on January 10th with a Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn. It affects all of us all year. It is a disconnective energy, and it works against the corporations, the governments, the structure of the way money is worked with, and it will disconnect, and then it will recreate, and that takes time. This must happen. It must be torn down because it is worn out, and it's blocking actually the new fifth dimension energies that we're going to be living in, that we are living in now. They came in on 2012, and December 20th, 2012, these energies came in. And now we're going through our spiritual tests, beginning now. And let me tell you something. If you think what's going on now is upsetting, there is much, much more to come. 3 eclipses in 30 days hasn't happened since the year 1000. And that's when Martin Luther split from the Catholic Church and set up new ways of thinking and new ways of worshiping. Remember, we are light workers, and we must create the peace that can change the world. And it will change the outcome, and it will change everything, especially if you gather together. Because the more people that pray together, the stronger the energies are. I believe we have a caller. I have Susan from Virginia. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you there?
Yes,
Hi,
ma'am.
Susan. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk to you. This is wonderful.
What is your question tonight?
My son has gone through some terrible bullying from some ex-friends and we pray about it, and I tell him that, this is a test, that he's strong and he can endure it, but it still hurts. But he's had to change his phone number, disconnect the phone, get off the internet, no social media, because I'm always saying, the social media is like, it's the devil's toys. He uses it to attack people, and I don't know if that's true, but it seems like that's what it does. But it was just, people can be so, and these are 25, 30-year-old adults doing this.
Okay, so he can report it to the authorities. which is probably a very good idea to do. And he certainly needs to carry on with his meditations and his strength from within. But he also, Louise Hay taught us a little mind exercise that I'd love him to try. Okay. Put the friend in front of him in his mind as he's meditating, in the light, in a chair, and blow him up with a firecracker. What you're doing is you're blowing up the energy of hate and anger.
Wow.
Then you close your eyes and you surround your friend with white light and you bring in a master, whoever you choose, Buddha, the Christ, Krishna, it doesn't matter. And you see him with the master. And you bless that and hopefully visualize the friend's heart opening.
It's funny.
Okay. I love you. I'm loving your soul. I am not loving your actions. I am loving your soul. I am not loving your actions. And then ask for the master to help both of you create a positive change. It works.
Yeah, hi, I'm Brad. Yeah, it's funny that you say that because...
You are her son?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, hello, Brad. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
Good.
So naturally, like, my instinct is to pray for them, you know, like, that it's coming from, like, a very low energy, you know, where they spend...
He's coming from a low energy. And the only way that you can change that is to do the exercise that I gave you, but also in your heart to say, I forgive you for all that you've done and all you haven't done, past, present, and future. And also know that he's doing this out of deep pain within himself.
Right.
And ask the master if he can change that feeling of pain.
Okay.
Believe me, there will be a new way of living in harmony as you work through this. It may take some time. Meanwhile, you have to do what you can do to protect yourself, of course.
Yeah.
And maybe he needs to be reported. Maybe he needs to be talked to. Has anyone talked to him? Because he's hurting other people, too.
And this particular individual, I mean, he's very intelligent. So, I mean, he knows.
He knows what he's doing. He's probably a narcissist.
Yes, he is. And he willingly makes these decisions like he self-destroys his own life. And
well, he doesn't see it that way.
Right.
Narcissist, it's a mental illness, and unfortunately, Brad, at this time, it's not curable. And it is a very destructive energy. And they enjoy and thrive on hurting and destructing others.
Yes.
Best to stay away as best you can. He's not a friend any longer. You see him for what he is, and the only thing you can do is bless him.
Right, exactly.
But you want him to leave you alone. So why don't you try that mind exercise and see what happens, and you can let me know.
I will. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you for calling. Let's find out. This is Elizabeth Joyce, and we're talking tonight about the energies that we're going to be going through for the next 4 years. We are certainly going through many, many spiritual tests beginning now. 3 eclipses in 30 days is not anything to take lightly. But this massive vortex of energy that's being poured on the planet can be used to raise the vibration and to create positive outcomes. So we need to take our break, and I will be back after these messages.
Your conscious connection to a more mindful world. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
A social distancing tip.
Putting distance between yourself and others is critical to slowing the spread of coronavirus. So here are ways to stay in contact without the physical contact part. Call, send a text, set up a video conference, post on social media, dedicate a song on the radio. If you have symptoms of fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath, call your healthcare provider before going to their office. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #alone together. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Elizabeth Joyce's Elixir Tea is really a healing tea. It's blended according to Ayurvedic principles and the chanting of Sanskrit mantras. So it assures a deep cellular healing, relief that flows from within. So drink Elizabeth's healing tea before you meditate. Order it online or call 201-934-8986. 201-934-8986.
Consistently attract soulmate clients. Begin showing up on brand, monetizing on your calling. Welcome all spiritual coaches, leaders, healers, light workers, and practitioners to a show that turns you on in your business and amplifies your magnetism. I'm host, catalyst, and spiritual business coach Rosalind Fung, and I'm here to journey with you into the juicy and help you discover where the real gaps are. Ignite your mindset and soul with strategies and systems as each episode takes you to the sweet spot that activates your soulgasmic business by tuning in on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Mountain. Join me for your light language activation and let's magnetize and monetize.
This is Elizabeth Joyce with Let's Find Out, and that was William Vitalis singing Moonlight on My Window, which I definitely thought was appropriate at this time because we are having 3 eclipses in 30 days. And let me tell you, we are going through 4 years of spiritual tests and experiences, and there is much more to come. And these eclipses are like a wild card. Something is sure to happen on the public stage. Money, relationships, work, how we relate to each other, whether we're kind or we let bad things happen. But we are light workers, and we must create the peace that can and will change the outcome. We must hold the light. Everybody wants to know what their mission is in life. If you're born at this time and you're a light worker or a master teacher, it is time to hold the light. Morning meditation and nightly review. And only think peaceful things. Don't allow yourself to get caught up. You don't have to watch the news every day. You don't have to know what's going on. You just need to live your life in love, peace, and harmony. I'm setting up a new phone app, and it's called Embracing Spiritual Frontiers. And there will be a lot of strengthening teaching, meditations, and music on the app. And we're on a new earth. And we're going to have a new way of living, and we're going to live in harmony. We can wait it out. We can learn how to shift, and you can create your fifth-dimensional living space. It's not a miracle. People say it's a miracle. It's not a miracle. It's a choice. Astrology gives us the pattern, but our consciousness gives us the manifestation. Because we are the mirror of our manifestation. So whatever you think is what you get. Flip Wilson used to say, is what you see is what you get. Well, I say what you think is what you get. Now, if you're 25 degrees of the mutable signs, which is Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, Capricorn, Gemini, and Sagittarius, you are going to be affected. You'll feel this, all this energy personally. And if you're at 5 degrees of a cardinal sign, you'll feel it as well. And that would be Capricorn, Cancer, and Libra, Aries. So we have a large, huge new beginning for you. You set an intention and ask for peace for the world. When you do both together, then your intention is strengthening by giving this positive energy out to the world as well. The task is for us all to come together. The task is for us all to love others for their gifts and their experiences and their wonderful professions and talents, and to support them and encourage them. We can do it. We can create this. And I know that if you want to find out more about what's happening to you personally, you can certainly ask me for the reading. I use both astrology and my psychic sensitivity to help you get through whatever challenges are happening. My son lives in China, and I got a text from him this last week saying goodbye, telling me that he thought he may never see me again, or his father, because China had just closed the borders and was preparing to go to war with the United States. I was upset at first, and then I decided not to accept it. I decided to start visualizing my son here with his family, living safe, happy, and productive lives. And I'm going to hold that vision as we go through these changes. We will change the outcome, and it will change everything. So join everybody around the world that's also holding the light. The minute that you stop in your tracks, get quiet, go within, and ask to hook up to the oneness energy where all of us are sending our prayers and thoughts, you will. It will happen. And you'll finally get your life into an upward swing. Yes, this is very unique. It will give you insights. Meditation always gives you insights. It will help you with potential opportunities and hurdles for the remaining months of 2020. And it will bring you to the effects of the positive side of the eclipse for the next 6 months. By doing the meditations and the prayer work, you're going to cover and expect the results and efforts that you make to maximize your gains from this act. Remember, we are in the transition period, and we can only expect the best results. If there are disappointments, if there are changes that you don't particularly like, remember to unravel it, as I am trying to do with my son, and change it. Create the change in your mind, because what you think is what you get. And this is Elizabeth Joyce, and we're going to go into a very powerful meditation, which I wrote for you last night, and I've never played it before, and this is our healing meditation and our upliftment meditation. So get ready for that. And next week I will be on with Frank St. James, and he will be helping you to talk to people on the other side that you might be missing or concerned about, and he also will help you with getting settled in this new energy of fighting the darkness and holding the light. That's exactly what we're doing. We're combating the darkness and holding the light. You don't need guns. You don't need weapons. You don't need hate and anger, because you have the power. The power is within you, and it will bring out all that you need. Remember, we've had a lot of leaders that have been peaceful, that have brought down nations. So let's all join together when 3 or more people are gathered, but we can have thousands. If everybody's listening, get activated. Get your groups together. Do your meditations. And let's see what happens. This is Elizabeth Joyce. Thank you for listening to tonight's show, and I will see you next week. Now, here we go into the meditation. Good night.
This is Elizabeth Joyce with Let's Find Out. And now it's time for the healing meditation that will help raise your frequency vibration. Raising your vibration into the 5th dimension is to live an amazing life. In order to do that, you need to break through the conditional response of fear that we have all been brought up with, and that has been with the planet since almost the beginning of the planet. We have come to a time when this really counts. Yes, it seems crazy out there, but it's really not. It's just that all the outmoded negative life, ups and downs, are being broken down and split apart. Do not allow yourself to be sucked into this frightening energy. As a child, we were taught to fuss and whine when we wanted our own way. And we have brought that into our adult life. We haven't realized that as we grow older, we need to leave our childish ways. We can communicate instead of taking a negative action to gain a response or to get our own way. We use the childish feelings, childish behavior. At this time, as we enter the 5th dimension, we must change our thinking process and how we think about our life. We are being tested. The history of life on earth is that people prey on the weak people to get what they want. When a friend or a boss yells at you and reprimands you, it's not anything to do with you. They are angry at something that they're angry at, which has nothing to do with you. You're simply a scapegoat where they can drop their negative feelings and anger. Something else is going on around them, and the anger becomes a great expression to vent on you. What's going on in this country has nothing to do with the real issues, because real issues never require anger or violence. The riot and anger is an age-old excuse, the old way of handling things, so that you can behave badly. When a window gets broken and a small store is looted, the people that you are supposedly defending may be put out of business. Looting and breaking windows has nothing to do with peace, protesting, or justice. That's an excuse. It's a behavior that we have used for centuries and eons, and it has to stop. Who does the bully pick on? The biggest guy? No. They pick on the weakest. But the bully has issues, and they want to prove how good they are. And these issues have nothing to do with who they pick on. It is very important in the next 4 years that we stay centered, at peace, and change our focus. We change our focus from fear and what's going to happen to me to I am a powerful individual, I am a light worker, and I work in love, peace, and harmony. Right now, people use frustration for their own personal agendas. And this has to stop, this has to change. The world is changing. Here's what we can do about it. Here's where we can grow. We'll stop acting like babies because we are now holding the power that we did not know about years ago. We would actually go into a challenging situation and do the same things that are being done now. Negative times negative equals negative. Nothing gets accomplished, and terrible destruction is left behind. You hold the power of the oneness, and you act on that power of the oneness. And this is done with total peace, no judgment, and not being sucked into the confusion and anger and hostility of those around you. A riot is a riot, and nothing has changed. Oh, but wait. What about you? What has changed? What can change? You have the power to change. And what you have the power to change is your reaction. Of course there's bad behavior. It's always hanging around for a reaction. And when you give it the reaction, the baby gets fed. That is what we do to manipulate and control. The Lord said, "The meek shall inherit the earth." It's here, it's now. Our spiritual tests begin now, and there's much more to come. 3 eclipses in 30 days, and 4 years of destruction before reconstruction. We as light workers must create the peace that can and will change the outcome. It will change everything. So join me as we embrace the spiritual frontiers with a new way of loving and a new way of remaining in love, peace, and harmony. On the basis that I know who I am, I know what I am, and I know how I serve. You are a child of light. You are experiencing different vibrations and frequencies on this earth plane. And your mission now is to raise everything up to a higher frequency where you don't need physical power. You don't need weapons because you hold the power. You hold the power within yourself. Focus on living on a peaceful planet, a planet that chooses to live in love, peace, and harmony. This is your new mission. All of this is a test. I have told you this would be happening, and it will continue to do so. But we can hold out for 4 years. All are being tested. Other forms of the lower frequencies will evolve. Much more will be happening in all areas of our life. It will hit, it will create separation, it will create illness, it will affect finances. But the most important thing, I promise you that this will become the biggest challenge of your life. Take a deep breath. Release the breath. Expect many changes and expect a new energy that's coming into your life. You are reloading your energy. This energy is benign, it's of a higher frequency, and it will bring you balance, love, peace, and harmony. Take another deep breath. Closing your eyes, looking at the light on your third eye. Let the light expand. Let it expand throughout your mind, that beautiful amber gold. And know who you are, that you are a child of God, that you are an energetic being in the universe, and that you hold a power beyond human imagination. This is Elizabeth Joyce with Let's Find Out. Have a peaceful night, and let this energy envelop you throughout the upcoming turbulent days.
Take